Hey, here's an update on the Platinum Red Mosaic Big Ear Dumbo something Guppies. This is one of the tanks that I was saving for breeders, but the females are really a little bit delicate after a couple of drops. Now, first off, I have too many males in here, but a few of these males, almost half of them, are the long fin variety, which they can't impregnate the female, but unfortunately they still chase the crap out of them. But they have such really nice pec fins and colors that I've kind of kept them in there. This female is one of the long fin ones, and this one is a short fin. And you can see she actually has darker pec fins, which is why I'm using her. So these fish are really doing good, but a little bit about what I can talk about with diseases for guppies and mortality rates of females is I'm finding that with some lines, and this is one of them, after a few drops of babies, the females are really just kicking the bucket. They're wasting away after a particular drop, and nothing works. I've tried numerous treatments. I've tried, these are some of the things I've used. This stuff is pretty good. It's called Lifeguard from Tetra. You just put in a tablet per 5 gallons, and I have these in 5-gallon tanks. And the other thing I've used is, this is not what the label says. This is a combination of a brand of dewormer and anti-parasite and fungus thingamajig. So it's anti-parasite, antibacteria. I mix them together. I keep it in the fridge because I think it lasts longer. Now, this is another tank, and I'm a younger tank. I do have some babies in there, and I'm going to be moving them. I've had no problems in this tank, no female deaths, and that's a good thing, but they're also not in the prime age of having babies yet. So it seems like as they get older, over 6 months, starting to see a higher mortality rate. And it's one of the males. They're beautiful. Really nice line. Now this wouldn't be anything you could show in the IFGA if you were interested in showing a fish. It could possibly sneak in as a wide tail class, which is a new class. They do get a wide tail, but to be honest, you're going to get clobbered by other people's entries because the tail doesn't get that long. This is kind of about it as far as length of the tail. And they're nice, they're beautiful, people love them, I like them. And the part that got me to this is this tank has a little bit of everything in there. I had 1 male and 4 females, and as soon as I could find her there, this one had a drop of babies and never recovered from that. So I'm going to take her out, put her in another tank. You can see one of the babies. And I haven't moved any of the fish yet because I don't know if she has like a wasting away thing or worms. So I'm going to move her into a separate tank, a smaller one, which I think is the way to go with treating for any kind of suspected disease or parasites or whatever. The reasons for that are you get the healthy fish away, because if you leave the sick fish in there, the rest of them are going to get infected without a doubt. So you can see all the rest of these fish look great. There are no other issues. I just have that one female I have to catch, and I'll put her in a 2.5 and then start treating with a couple of different things. So in this instance, I think I'm going to treat with a Lifeguard and a fenbendazole flake. So I bought these flakes. I got these off of either Amazon or eBay or direct, I forget. It's a pretty interesting company. They give you these little packages, and it's easy to keep in the fridge. This one is something I'm not going to pronounce. Oxytetracycline hydrochloride. Phew. Sounds like something I don't know what the heck it is. This one I'm going to be using, the fenbendazole. This is good for deworming. This one is a Metro Flake. and it's also anti-protozoan. That's a word. And also for parasites, not gold digging ex-wives or anything, just, you know, real parasites. Ba-dum-bum. This one is kanamycin sulfate, and it's for if your fish get that whirling around, internal problems, dropsy. I'll be honest with you, sometimes it's better to just really nicely get rid of the fish, because it's never going to be right. If you're raising fish for show, the fish isn't going to be right, the babies aren't going to be right, and I would never keep one that is diseased that I was going to keep in a show line, or, be honest with you, a line that I sell, because I don't want to sell anybody fish that get sick or have a problem. This one is praziquantel something for gill flukes, which I've never had any experience my fish with that. So anyway, this is a bit of an issue for me, because this fish has definitely got a problem. The babies were born 3 days ago, and she is obviously distressed with a problem. And the other fish aren't, so it could just be from the stress of having babies, because that happens. There are some breeders that they only keep the females for approximately 3 or 4 drops, and then they use the next generation, because at that point you're into the 4th month, and it's kind of optimum to use fish that are 3 to 4 months old as breeders. So the problem with this line is these fish don't develop into this until about 6 months. So I really can't do too much about using younger ones, because I don't know what kind of pec fins they're going to have, and I got to wait around 4 months until the dorsal colors up. And this one's got beautiful large pec fins, but it's a long fin, so he if he was the last guppy on earth, he's not going to be extending his line. It's done with him. So I have a couple of regular fin ones in there. And not to digress, but I have digressed. And these are the babies that that female just had a couple days ago. So long story short, which is getting longer, she's going to come out, go into a small tank. It's going to be quarantined. And I'll see if I have any success. I'm going to try, like I said, the lifeguard, which is once a day for 5 days. And then I'm going to try the fenbendazole, which, even though it sounds like a nice baked Italian dish, it's actually some kind of something for parasites and whatever. One other thing I can show you, the ongoing attempt of getting this line of all red albinos a foothold. I have, out of the youngest generation, I grew out 4 fish. I have a very healthy looking female. It's a very good looking male. It's getting a full red color. And this female is not filling up yet. And I have another male right here. And this female is iffy. So to be honest with you, she's going to go in with that other female. I'm going to treat them both at the same time. So it's a very delicate line. I have a feeling that the genes are not the strongest. I got this from Indonesia. Same guys I bought the platinum red mosaic big ear guppies from. But if I can get this straightened out, then I'll have some more tanks of them. As it is now, I have 1 tank of 4 fish plus a funky looking one. So we'll see what I can do with them. The next option for me, if the males live and the females do not have birth or kick the bucket after they do, is I'm just going to put in a black-eyed full red female with the males and just try to create my own line, because I really don't want to spend another ton of money on importing some fish from Indonesia and end up with a half-fertile, non-fertile line. So I have 2 males, so I have an excellent chance of keeping this line going. And once again, this is the platinum red mosaic big ears, which every once in a while I can actually say it right. So I appreciate you watching. If you have any questions about the medications, let me know. I can tell you what I know, which isn't a whole lot. I don't thankfully get a lot of sick fish. I've only experienced the wasting away, pinch belly kind of thing. I don't get dropsy because that's usually a product of the environment with the water quality slipping, which I don't let it happen. I do a water change every week at least of 30%. I keep water Sprite at the top. It helps in clearing the nitrates, and the fish nibble on it, and I get algae on the side. Now, if you don't have plants in your tank and you have like a slime on the side of the tank, I would say every 2 weeks you want to get a scrubber and just scrub it down right before you do a water change, and then do the water change, which should get the extra junk out of it. This one is the female that's turned into a male, so that fish is going to be absolutely gigantic by the time everything's done. It's already bigger than every fish in that tank. And that's kind of it. The only other issue with guppies that you might see is you may end up getting a line if it's too inbred, or if you haven't crossed anything in, which makes it too inbred. You may get a drop of all females or all males. It sounds like an astronomical impossibility, but what's happening is the genes are messed up, things are breaking down. And it's kind of called the death gene in guppies, which I mentioned in a prior video. What happens is you just lose the line unless you cross it with something else. So it's not a bad idea to have other lines that are compatible with the strains that you're raising. Like if you raise half-black blues, you may want to have like a line of blues. If you raise sky blue albinos, you may want to keep a line of pastels, or even half-black pastels. Things that are compatible that you'll be able to cross in. Like with half-black reds, you have to keep a line of gold-red guppies, preferably full reds or just red deltas, because you have to cross in a gold male, or if your line's set the other way, a gold female to the opposite gender of the half-black red. Because what happens is you'll lose the red color in the dorsal and the tail. You'll end up with a muddy or mahogany type color, or you'll get white dorsals, and that's the line breaking down. So unfortunately with half-black reds, they're beautiful, but you kind of have to make that cross every third generation. So anyway, I've digressed enough. I've gone off course like usual, but hopefully it gives you some information about some issues you may have down the line with your guppies. Hopefully you don't. I do pretty good with not much in the way of diseases. You can kind of tell I'm not just spouting off or full of poop, because I do the fish room updates, and you're pretty much seeing some of the same fish over and over again, just getting bigger and more colorful, not disappearing from the fish room. So anyway, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, just email me. I'll put my email address in the description of the video, and that's kind of it. I'll probably be putting a few trios of the Platinum Red Mosaic Big Ear Guppies on Aquabid shortly. I've been lazy and I haven't taken pictures and gotten any fish on there. I just have the fish food on there and eBay, and I think I also have a Proper Care of Guppies book on eBay. And that's about it. I hope things are well with all you. I thank all of you for your support and for subscribing. And try to limit the jokes now, because I actually have a lot of subscribers. It's not something people always want to hear, even though I like it and I can't stop sometimes. Anyway, thank you.